All right, so welcome, and a good Yom Tov, everyone. Good Yom Tov, special time. May the birthday of the Holy Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe bring us and to everybody endless blessings and all that they need, and way beyond our wildest imaginations of success in our holy work of spreading the light of Chassidus and the ultimate purpose of spreading the light of Chassidus. That would already tonight, in the midst of this class, or even right at the beginning of the class, or even before I even open my mouth to start the class, we should already be on the eagle's wings and find ourselves, as we're going to see over here, in the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi. Okay. I'd like to learn with you today the Bracha that the Rebbe gave in the year 5751, Erev Rosh Hashana 5752. Now, what is special about it is, other than it would be special to learn at any time, is that it's exactly, the Rebbe talks a lot about the uniqueness of the up-and-coming year, Tavshin Nun Beis 5752, and how it's a very, very unique and special year, and that, as we're going to see soon, so that relates as well to this upcoming year, because our next year is exactly the same calendar. So it's a very unique kind of, as we'll soon see, a very unique blend, and that a few very powerful things come together, which create the chemistry or the outline, I would say the whole tapestry or of the year is put together exactly this year like it is then. So I guess like the brachas that the Rebbe spoke about at that time applies in the same force this year. Okay, or maybe even stronger. So let's begin. So it comes in two phases. The Rebbe spoke Erev Rosh Hashana right after Hataras and the Darim in the morning. There was a Beis Din that would be Mater Neder, like the minhag is an Erev Rosh Hashana to undo the vows. And after they did Hataras and the Darim, the Rebbe spoke first on top of the bima by the stender. Then when he walked down the stairs, he continued giving a bracha at the bottom of the stairs, at the bottom of the stage. That's number one. And then we're going to continue on to the bracha that the Rebbe gave after he accepted the pan klali, in which they gave a pan, a pidyon nefesh for all the chassidim, and the Rebbe would receive that, and after that he gave a bracha, and that's already a longer bracha, more like a sikha style. So we're going to get to that. We're going to learn both today. Okay, let's begin. He starts Yasher Koyach, right, giving a thank you to the people who were mater neder. Ksiva v'chasima toiva, a ksiva v'chasima toiva, l'shana toiva masuka, a good gebenched, a good and sweet year, b'teich klal Yisroel amongst the Jewish people. Ubimiyuchad, be'inyan achi ikri, and particularly regarding the thing that is the most important, the most prominent, geula amitis v'ashleima teikov miyad mamish, that we should merit the geula amitis v'ashleima, and it should happen instantly. It's amazing how the Rebbe in Tavshin Nun Aleph, going into Tavshin Nun Beis, it's like usually the Indian of Mashiach comes a little further in the Sikha, a little further in the Bracha. Here it like begins just Shana Toiva Masuka, and immediately Geula Amitis Vashleima Teikov Miyad Mamish. Ubefrat, and particularly Sheyashnam Kvar Kama Simanim Alzeh. We have already many simanim and signs on the idea that the Geula has to be right now. Hachal Medivre Chachamenu Zal, beginning with what Chachamim say already, Lifnei Kama Shanim V'Doros, before many years and many generations, Kol HaKitzin, all the Kitzin, all the Kates, all the end times that were prescribed amongst the Nevi'im is already finished. We've already passed those times. And now it's only dependent on tshuva. That means the time for Mashiach can come. There's nothing holding back in terms of time. Whatever the kates, all the kitzin, they passed already. So what's holding back now? The only thing is we need to do tshuva. And the Friediger Rebbe said, his Birshagam in Tshuva Nifel Kvar, that even Tshuva we've also done. We're standing already, all of us prepared. And we're standing like this already for a duration of time. And if that's the case, So definitely it's the time for Mashiach to come. There should be immediately the complete redemption, the true and complete redemption. And from this instant, let there be all the Jewish people, with our youth, with our elders, with our children, with our sons and daughters. Instantly we should find ourselves in the Holy Land. And over there itself, that we should be in the holy city of Yerushalayim, Al Hara Kodesh, on the holy mountain, and in the Beis Hamikdash, Ad B'Kodesh HaKadoshim, till into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, Shesham Nimtzas, Even HaShasiyah, Shememenu Hushtas HaOlam, which from there is to be found the stone, the foundation stone, in which the entire world is based on, is founded on that stone. As we know that the stone where in the Holy of Holies is the stone that Hashem began the creation with. That's the stone that the Aron would sit on, and so forth. It's interesting, as you see, like the Rebbe, when he wants Mashiach, he wants to skip all the stages. It's so urgent that okay, it's not enough that we end up in Eretz Yisroel. We have to be in Yerushalayim, and we have to be on the holy mountain, and we have to be in the Beis Hamikdash, and not enough. And he's bringing everybody into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, into the Holy of Holies. And it's also interesting just to note that I've seen it in these sichos. We saw it in Parsha Shoftim, and we see it again over here, that for some reason the Rebbe keeps on mentioning the Even HaShasiyah, the foundation stone. Maybe it's a certain stability. That's one thing. The Even HaShasiyah is the foundation. It's a stone. It's stable. As he mentioned in Parsha Shoftim, it's something that never even got concealed. Meaning the other things in the Aron, the other things in the Kodesh HaKadosh, the Holy of Holies, even though they too are intact, but they're in a state of being hidden. But the Even HaShasiyah remains the way it is. It can't budge. That's what he mentions there in the sense. So that's stability. But it could be there's another Inyan. The Rebbe wants a Moshiach. He wants a Geula that is the foundation of the world. Not a Geula that is otherworldly, that disconnects or detaches from the world. He wants a Geula that is a foundation for all of the globe, all of humanity, all of the world. It's memenu hushtas ha'olam. Just my own thought. It's a little interesting that there is I mentioned Kodesh HaKadoshim, but why is there such an emphasis that on Even HaShasiyah? But in any case, and you see in the next piece that this is the idea that that there is a connection of that holy. We're not running away and escaping the world. We're going to a place and connecting to the quintessential godly a source, which is a foundation for all of creation. And the holiness of the Holy of Holies and the Even HaShasiyah, Shaboy, that's in and the holy stone and the foundation stone that's in the Kodesh HaKadoshim, mispashetes takef u'mayad b'chol ha'olam kuloi, expands into the entire world. So this is mamish this nakuda, that the holiness, we're coming into the deepest kedusha. That's the idea of geula. Because without geula, we became distant from our holy Mebeis Chayenu, from our house of life. We can't access the Nekuda Pnimis, the highest, deepest place. When Mashiach will come, we will be able to get back to the Beis Hamikdash, to Yerushalayim, to the Kodesh HaKadoshim. But it's not enough that we access it, we go into this inner place, but we draw that holiness outward, and this becomes the foundation for the whole entire world. As he says, that the Eibishter is a melech al kol haaretz, havaya yimloich li olam vod, and Hashem is king forever and ever. Oidapam, another time, ksiv v'chsima toiva, l'shana toiva masuk. Okay, so that's the first bracha that the Rebbe gave when he was up on top. Then when he came down from the stairs, la'achash k'vod kedushas ad mashlita yared mahabima. After he came down from the bima, himshach he continued. Hashana, now he goes on to explain the uniqueness of this year. Hashana chadasha haba, the up and coming year, Hina Shana Mishuleshes. It's a triple year. Sheyesh bo shleimus mishuleshes. It has a triple perfection. Shana sheba boim yachat shloishin yana shleimus. It's a year in which three perfections converge together. She'enam tluyim zeh b'zeh. These are independent perfections that are not dependent one on the other. It's not like when you have one, automatically it pulls the other two. because there are years in which when we have one or two of these perfections, but we don't have the third. And this is a unique year in which these three qualities, these three perfections come together, which make it a super powerful year. And as the Rebbe is going to say, he uses every merit possible that makes this year a very meritorious year for the Geula. Other years, you can have one of these perfections without the other. Okay, what's the first perfection of? And again, as I mentioned, this was Tafshin Nun Beis, 5752, and it is going to be the same makeup for Tafshin Ayin Tes. Aleph. Bechlal, and as I was saying, the things that the Rebbe spoke about in Nun Aleph were many prophecies, and I think that it's my Lafi, my Aniyas Daiti, my own small mind. We've seen similarities in Nun Aleph, the miracles that happened that the Rebbe was speaking about in Nun Aleph, happened this year, and it could be in many ways even in a greater and more intense way. That's in 5778. And now we're hitting 5779, which is again going to correspond to 5752, where the intensity of the Mashiach talk only intensified. So let's hope that we don't have to wait till 5779, but definitely a very, very powerful year. So let's see what are the three shleimusin that there is, three perfections that there is in the very makeup of the year. Number one, Aleph. Hashleimus Teshnasa Ibra. Number one, it's a Shana Mu'uberes. It's we call a leap year, but what it means is there's 2 months of the month of Adar. Shanoisa b'chodesh Yud Gimel. We have 13 months instead of 12 months. Hashana Nekrais, Shana Tumima. And this type of a year is called a complete year, a wholesome year. And he brings it from the Gemara, Masechtas Erechin, and the Mishnah, and the Rambam, Malchus, and Yovel, that make reference to a year like this, that it's called a Shana Tumima. It's called a complete year. So that's number one. We have simply, in terms of it's a long year in the sense that we add that extra month, which most years we don't have, and that makes this a longer year. And if it's bigger in terms of duration, means it's also bigger in terms of content, because Kamos and Echos go together. If it's greater in Kamos, it's greater in size, it's also greater in content. And Beis, second Indian. Hashleimus bezeh, shechodesh Cheshvan v'chodesh Kislev, shnei hachadashim b'shana sheyecholim liyos chaserim, shalchav tes yoim, oim aleim shalamid yoim. There's 2 months of the year, which are Cheshvan and Kislev. These are 2 months which is possible for them to either be a full month or a chaser month, a lacking month. Which means the Hebrew months, the Torah months, are either sometimes 30 days, and when it's a chodesh of 30 days, then we have 2 days Rosh Chodesh for the next month. For instance, if Elul would have 30 days, then we would have 2 days Rosh Chodesh Tishrei. That's the idea. If it's 29 days, then we only have 1 day Rosh Chodesh. So there are certain months that are always fixed. They're always either 30 days or 29 days. But Cheshvan is a month. Cheshvan and Kislev are months that can either be 29 or 30. And obviously this is dependent on complicated calculations, which set why at times Cheshvan and Kislev are full and why they are chaser. And there are times when you can have one of them full and the other one chaser. Meaning only of 29 days. This year, what's unique is that both Cheshvan and Kislev have 30 days. As he says, these 2 months, this year, Shneim Maleim, they're both complete. Shnei Chadashim Maleim, we have 2 complete months. Kiflayim L'Tashiyah, we have a kefil, we have a whole, a shleimus that's doubled. Sha'az Nekras Hashana Shleima, which this makes the year be called a Shana Shlema. See, the first thing makes the year be called Shana Tamima, a Tamim Digi year, you might say a wholesome year. This makes the year be called Shana Shlema, a complete year. And that he brings from the Torah, that these are called Chodsheh Shleimim. It uses the word Shleimus. So it's very interesting. We're coming across a year, which is both a Shana Tamima, and it's also a Shana Shlema. Now we go to Gimel, the third thing. Hayoim Arishin Shel Pesach Chal B'Yom HaShabbos. The other thing is further up in the calendar. The first day of Pesach comes out on Shabbos. Sha'az Yeshna HaShlemus, that means that Pesach is going to be this year, Shabbos and then Sunday. Erev Pesach is Friday, and Shabbos and Sunday is Pesach. Sha'az Yashna Hashleimus B'Sfiras Ha'omer Shemaschila B'Machras HaShabbos. What that does, what's so special about that? That means that we begin counting Sfiras Ha'omer on the end Matzah, the first day Pesach, which is Matzah Shabbos. Now, when that happens, when we start counting Matzah Shabbos, then the first day of Sfiras Ha'omer is Sunday, because Matzah Shabbos is really Sunday. Second day Monday, and then the weeks correspond to the weeks, to the order of the weeks of Bereshis, the regular week count. As the counting of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we say, oh, we finished 1 week of Sfiras Ha'omer. They align with the days of the week, which is of course doesn't always happen. It can be any time. Quite on the contrary, the Tzedukim were the ones who demanded that Sfiras Ha'omer should always be like this. They always said, Mimachras HaShabbos, that no matter when Pesach comes out, you start counting from Shabbos. But we don't do that. But of course, when it falls out that Pesach comes out on like this, on first day of Shabbos, then we have this count that we're literally starting Mimachras HaShabbos when it's taka from Shabbos. And it seems like the reason why the Tzedukim could have wanted it to be this way is because there is a quality, there is a milah to this. What's the milah? So, again, the Rebbe is not explaining it in the Sikh over here, but there's a whole talk where the Rebbe does, and I'm not quoting from that, I'm just thinking my own thing. We know that every day is associated with the Spheros in Sfiras Ha'omer. The first day is Chesed, the second day is Gevura, and so on and so forth. Now, that's no matter, and we work on our Inyanim of Chesed on day number 1, number 2 Gevura, and so on and so forth. Now, if the days of the week are also connected, Sunday is the day of Chesed, Monday is Gevura. When they line up, that creates a strengthening and an empowerment in the whole process. So, Shemaschila Mamachras HaShabbos, Gam Kipshutai, also in the simple, meaning that it means literally Shabbos, not like usual when Machras HaShabbos means Pesach. Here it means literally Shabbos. And then the 7 weeks are truly Tamimos, because the pasuk refers to these weeks. B'chlal Sfiras Ha'omer, it says you should count Sheva Shabbosis Tamimos, 7 complete weeks. Now, there is a loose translation of the word Tamimos, and then there is a more accurate translation of Tamimos. In the looser translation of Tamimos, it's every year it's Tamimos, in the fact that you're counting the full 49 days, 7 complete weeks, you're not stopping in the middle, you're finishing the weeks completely, even though in halacha there's a concept of rubai kekulai, that part of the day, or that most of it is considered like the whole, or sometimes even in time we say miktzas hayom, a little bit is like the whole. By Sfiras Ha'omer, it has to be a full day, as we know that we can't accept Shavuos. Shavuos is one of the days of the year, one of the special holidays that you can't take in Yom Tov early. You have to wait until it's nighttime, because it has to be Sheva Shabbosos Tamimos, that have to be complete. So that's every Sfiras Ha'omer, it's always Tamimos. What's unique about this year is there's a medrash that says that the real meaning of Tamimos, Ein Masehem Tamimos, when are they complete? When they fall out in a year like this, when it comes out the first day of Pesach on Shabbos, and that means that the second day of Pesach, which is the first day of Sfira, begins on a Sunday. Then it's really Tamimos. Hinam Tamimos Kesheshes and Bereshis. Then they're Tamimos like the 6 days of creation. Shemaschilos be'echas b'Shabbos that also start on Sunday. U'Mesayim b'Shabbos and they conclude in Shabbos. K'deisa b'Medrash, like stated in the Medrash. So that's a third Shlema, Shalom. Now, why is that so important? I mean, okay, I understand. First thing is that the year is complete. We have 13 months. Then we have the days, the months themselves are all in a shleimustig state. And finally, we have the third thing that the Sfiras Ha'omer is Shalom. We're soon going to see that Sfiras Ha'omer is very important, because Sfiras Ha'omer leads us to Kabbalah Satira. And when, obviously, if we have a more Shalom Diga Sfiras Ha'omer, the more perfect the Sfira is, the greater the Torah that we receive. and being that we're expecting in the days of Mashiach the ultimate revelation of the Torah, which means the Torah that we have now is a very compromised Torah. We have only the chitzonius of the Torah. We don't have the real pnimius of the Torah, which Torah Chadasha Me'iti Teitze, the new Torah that's going to come out, the Moshiach Dige Torah, which we're waiting for, which we might say is Iker in Yanai of Moshiach, is that he should be Megala Torah Chadasha. So a year in which we have a perfect Sphira sets the stage for the Giloi of Torah Chadasha. So we see how vital that is. And let's see it over here. Ubashana Chadasha in this coming up year, Bom Yachat Kol, Gimel Shleimi Yois, all three perfections come together. Hey, Nashleimus the Mispar Chadashim Shnasa Ibor. It's a perfect month. Shnasa Ibor. Hey, Nashleimus the Mispar Ayama B'Chadashim. We also have the most days in the month Shnei Chadashim and Leim. We have the 2 months that possibly can be lacking. This year they're full. Ubemela, here an amazing thing comes out according to that. Nimtza Shebeshana Zu, that the upcoming year Yesheschum Hayamim Agadol B'Yoiser Shayach Aliyas B'Shana. We have the most days possible that we can have in a year. B'Yoiser Shana Tamima V'Shana Shleima. It's a Shana Tamima, complete year. V'Shana Shleima, and a perfect year. Shnasa Ibor Shabbai Chodesh Cheshvan V'Kislev Malayim. You have two things. You have a Shnasa Ibor, a year of a leap year, plus Chodesh Cheshvan and Kislev Malayim, which again they don't have to come together. So literally, there isn't possibly to have a year that has more days than this up and coming year, which means it's a very, it's the highest year possible in terms of if it's the most days, meaning it has, in a sense, the most perfect and the most content. But in addition to that, we also have the complete 7-day week count, which this sets the tone for the bringing of the 2 breads and all the karbanos of Chag HaShavuos, which has to be right after the count. Zman matan Torah, the time when the Torah is given. Hakasher gam in Torah Chadasha Me'iti Teitze, which is connected to the new Torah that is going to emerge from Hashem in the days of Mashiach. So this year has a greater potential for that to happen. And the main thing, and this is the main idea, that the triple perfection of the up and coming year, adds extra strength, that instantly, in the beginning of the year, we shouldn't have to wait till Shavuos, shouldn't have to wait till we actually pass through this next Shleimus to Geinya, but right away at the beginning of the year, we should already merit all the Inyanim of Shleimus. Koilo, HaShleimus the Torah Chadasha Me'iti Teitze, including also the Torah Chadasha Me'iti Teitze, Kivan shetekef emeyad mamish ba geula mitzvah v'shleima, since immediately the redemption comes. The tekef emeyad mamish, and instantly zoichem l'ksiv v'chsim atoiva begoloi, with zoiche for ksiv v'chsim atoiva l'chol achad v'achaz b'teich klal Yisroel, to every single yid amongst the Jewish people. L'shana toiva mesuka, a good and sweet year. So that's the first bracha. Now we go on to the second sicha, the second talk the Rebbe gave, and this was after he received the pan kololi. It's really, really unbelievable. So let's look inside. Regarding to a judgment in Torah, being that Rosh Hashana is called Yom Hadin, so when we have to get a look, we have to have a Torah perspective on the Inyanim of Din. These days which are coming, which is in general, are called days of judgment, which begins in the day of judgment of Rosh Hashana. There is a psak din of the Eibishter in Torah. Here the Rebbe goes into the Levi Yitzchak of Barditchev mode big time, in the sense that the Rebbe starts being Malamed Chus and making sure that the whole entire generation gets an unbelievable year. He says there is a psak din. Since we're dealing with law, so here it's very, very important to follow the laws. You know, in court, what do they always do? So the lawyers or the prosecutors, whoever it is, they try to always find already cases that in the past, everything is always compared. You know, we look for a case in which this has already been decided, and based on that, they try. So you look for a psak din. The Rebbe says there is a psak din in Torah that what? That the din has to be in a manner in Parshas Maseh, when it talks about the someone who kills Chas v'Shalom takes the life of someone accidentally. So it says over there they should v'shaftu eda, that the assembly, which is the Beis Din, should judge the person. V'tzilu eda, and they should save him. Dahainu. So what does that mean? Shahadin kuloi, the entire judgment, eino elo b'chdei sheyeh yoiser v'hitzilu. That the whole judgment is only that we should be able to make a greater vindication, a greater exoneration, to find the person innocent and so forth. So the whole v'shaftu is that it should lead to the hitzilu. Adla hashleimus the v'hatzilu ba'gilo mitzvah v'shleima. We're talking about the hitzilu. Hitzilu means to save, literally meaning it means to save. It's the ultimate saving, is to save the Jewish people from the exile, which is the ultimate gi'ul. Look at the Lakam and Siv Gimel, like will be mentioned in Siv Gimel. This idea that the whole judgment is only for the sake to be able to bring a Yeshua, to bring a saving and a vindication to the Jewish people. So the Rebbe brings in the bottom, order number 5, the Eva Yikra Rabba Parshas Chavtes. Peshasha Yisroel noitlem es shofreim, the time when Yidden take their shofres, v'toikim lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when they blow in front of the Eibishter, oimid mekisei hadin v'yoyshe bekisei rachamim. The Eibishter gets up from the throne of judgment and he sits down on the throne of mercy. U'mismala aleim rachmim u'mirachem aleim. The Eibishter gets filled with mercy and he has mercy upon them. V'hoifech aleim midas adin l'rachmim. And he flips over the attribute of judgment to rachmim. So you see, the Eibishter set it up in a way that we should blow shofar on the day of judgment, and for sure, it changes the whole din into rachamim. You get the Isa B'Tur as stated in Tur. We'll go back into the Sikha itself. As it says in Tur, kipsak din. It's a psak din. Afal pisha meviyo b'medrash. It's interesting. The Rebbe very much is stating his case. The Rebbe is standing up there in front of the whole judgment on Erev Rosh Hashana, and he's going to set the stage Lamayla by the Eibishter how it has to be. So the Rebbe is going to bring a tour, which the tour brings a medrash. So if it's a medrash, it's a medrash. You can't paskin from a medrash. Yet the Rebbe says the tour brings this medrash as a halacha. That what? As we'll see in a moment, that you're supposed to do something. So the Rebbe is emphasizing it's a halacha. When something is a psak din, so you can't mess with it. This is the way it is. So what does it say over there? He brings the medrash on the pasuk where it says, "Mi goy god shaloy lekim kroi v'melam." Who is a great nation that has a God that's close to him? Eiza umma ku'umma zu. Where is there a nation like this nation? Sheyedas afya shalolikel, that knows the afya. Afya is, there's a better word for it that I wanted to say, but it's not coming to my head right now. The style of its God. They know his. No, I don't have the word. I don't know. Okay, it's going to frustrate me, not find the word. Maybe someone is going to send it to me later. The minhag of the world is Adam sheyesh lo din, a person that has a din. He's all scared and worried, and he looks pale and whatever. Because he doesn't know how his din is going to come out, so he's very, very intimidated by going to trial. But Jews are not that way. That they get dressed in yontiv clothing, they wear white. And they wrap themselves in white. In the earlier days, people yontiv clothing was white. Today, the Chassidic garb or whatever is, at least for the men, is black. But it was used to be white. So this is the idea. And they eat and they drink and they rejoice in Rosh Hashana. Because they know that the Eibishter is for sure going to do a miracle for them. And he's going to bring forth their din for schus, for merit, and he's going to rip up any chas v'sholem, any kind of gzar din. Kloimar, what does that mean? That's what it says in Torah. Shebnei Yisroel ummah kazu. The Yidden are such a nation. Shetivam b'anagosam b'chaya yom yom. Their teva in their hanaga, in their daily life, gam b'zman hagolus, even in the time of golus. Who kazeh, their nature is, because they're so close to Hashem, their nature is even before the Eibishter actually gives the psak din, they know already with certainty that the Eibishter is going to give them, is going to judge them l'schus in a meritorious way, which is v'hitziloi ha'eda. That's for sure. The assembly above, the Beis and Shamayla, is going to give them, are going to be matzel them, save them. The Rebbe says that this confidence is not a confidence they feel deep in their etzem neshama, in their heart of hearts, but on the outside, it's you don't see it. No, it's so there's such a confidence that it expresses itself in their behavior, so much so that even in the most external elements of them, which is the way they dress and the way they eat, that they're eating on Rosh Hashanah, a festive meal, they're dressing in Yom Tov, notwithstanding Rosh Hashanah with all the seriousness of it, but still we have the idea that on Rosh Hashanah it's a Yom Tov. Ichlu mashmane meshsumam takim. Eat mashmane meshsumam takim, which is a pasuk in Ezra, which it says that the Yidden on that year, Rosh Hashanah, when they came back to build the Beis Hamikdash Hasheni, they were crying a lot. There was a lot of pain because they felt that they were very sinful. I don't remember what it was, something like that. Just read about this when I was learning in Yana Beis Hamikdash, and Ezra told them to go home and not to be worried because it's going to be good for them. And from there we learn out this idea that Rosh Hashanah we have to be treated like a yontiv and not chas v'shalom with fear and trepidation. Okay, Beis Ula Hosef. This idea that the Jewish people are so confident that they're going to come out l'din, they're going to come out l'schus on the din of Rosh Hashanah, so is also emphasized in the Parshas HaShavua, Shal HaShabbos Shememenu Mizbarach Rosh Hashanah, from the Shabbos in which Rosh Hashanah is blessed from, Parshas Nitzavim. What does it say in Parshas Nitzavim? Atem Nitzavim Maayon kulchem l'fnei Hashem Elokeichem. You stand upright, all of you, in front of Hashem your God. So who is that referring to? When it says you are standing in front of Hashem, Koyal b'nei Yisroel, it's referring to all the Jewish people. And not Stam, it's referring to all the Jewish people. Kol esam madrega shebeklal Yisroel. It's not like you say it's referring to some Jews are in a very spiritual high state. It's referring to them. No, all 10 levels of the Jewish people. And the pasuk over there counts, enumerates all the different types, even the wood choppers, the water drawers, which generally represent a lower level of the Jewish people. And yet all of them stand, and just like this refers to all the Jewish people, every single Yid, it also applies to every individual Yid, because every person has 10 madregos in his neshama, and that's what it means. Reshechem, Sheftechem, all those names is referring to all the details of a Yiddish neshama, of a Jew as an individual. Connected the Esa spheres, which correspond to the 10 spheres. And not the Esa spheres that there is in the neshama somewhere up there in heaven, but the Esa spheres as it expresses itself, the Eser Koiches HaNefesh, as it expresses itself in the neshama big guf down here. That on the day of Rosh Hashanah, Hayoim, Nitzavim, all Yidden stand strong, Shahagam Shezehu Yoim Hadin, even though this is a day of judgment. Oim demember oifen the Nitzavim, Yidden stand in a manner of Nitzavim, Kayomim v'oimdim dahainu shezoichem bedin. Yidden stand upright and strong, v'hitzilo ha'eda. That's the message of Parshas Nitzavim. Parshas Nitzavim is, Atam Nitzavim Ayoim Kulchem, you are standing strong, firm, in a way, every single Jew are standing on Hayoim. Hayoim, the Zohar says, is Rosh Hashanah, in front of Hashem. The Yesh Loimar, this is just amazing. Shezer Kosher Gamim Apirush B'Nitzavim Aloshem Nitzav Melech. The Tzemach Tzedek connects the word Nitzavim, that it's associated with a pasuk in Malachim, where it uses the word for Nitzav regarding a king. That standing, the usual word for standing, is the word oimdim. But over here, we're using the word nitzav. Nitzav is not a regular way of standing. We're talking about a unique, exceptional kind of standing. Standing very firmly. It's a type of confidence that only a king, when he stands firm with such strength. That's the standing that we're talking about. And the Tzemach Tzedek says an interesting thing. Tzemach Tzedek says that the reason why Atam Nitzavim Ayoim Kulchem, which refers to the Jewish people on Rosh Hashanah, it refers to us as Nitzav, as standing like a king. Very simple. He says, in order to, for Hashem, what do we do on Rosh Hashanah? On Rosh Hashanah, we make the Eibishter into a melech. Right? We're making God into a king. But it's coronation. And when you're going to coronate someone, the people that are coronating the king are, of course, much lower than the person they're coronating. He's way above them. That's obviously they're choosing a person that's head and shoulders above the rest. But on the other hand, a king can't be a king over ants, because they're only little ants. They have no shaykhs to him. They have to have somewhat shaykhs. They have to be similar. He's human, they're human. There's a certain equality. There's a certain relationship between the king and the people. And then he becomes their king. That's how they can coronate him. Problem with God is that who can stand and be equal to him? It's not like we stand a little lower than Hashem. There's an infinite gap between us and Hashem. So the Tzemach Tzedek says that's why it's only Neshamas who can make the Eibishter king, because we are kings. He is, when we're coronating Hashem, we're coronating him to be a king over kings. Melech Malchei Amlachim, because every Yid is really a Melech. Because Yidden are Mushrish and Malchus, that's the Shorish of our Neshama. So we're all Malachim, and therefore the Eibishter is becoming Melech Malchei Amlachim. That's why it says by the Yidden Atem Nitzavim, we stand like a king. Shekol echod ve'echod mi Yisroel oimed b'Rosh Hashana kamoi Melech, like a king. Melech al kol ha'metzias sevivoy. He stands as a king on his entire surroundings. V'ad melech al kol seder ishtalshalos. You hear this? That every single Jew in Rosh Hashanah is not stam. He's standing as a king. Imagine walking into shul with in a sense, Rosh Hashanah, with the confidence that you are a balabas. You're a king over on your entire surroundings. Obviously, if you want to serve the Eibishter, it's in the context of serving God, that you're coming to shul as a Jew, and you need certain things, and sometimes you have problems. Someone is giving you problems with zoning, the other one is giving you problems with this, a lack of funding for projects you need, various different obstacles. But if you're the king, then you can set everything in order. And the Yid is a melech on his whole surrounding, but not only that, on spiritual things as well. Nothing blocks, and you stand on Rosh Hashanah with that tremendous strength. Shekain kol echod ve'echod mi Yisroel b'matzavai hu. Every single Yid, the Rebbe says, in his matzav, not if a big tzaddik, someone if says a melech. No, in his matzav as he is now, every single Jew, even a little boy and a girl, harehu melech is a king, and therefore who mekabel mi melech malchei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu is receiving from the King of all kings, the Eibishter, shemachtire moisei b'Rosh Hashana, in which we are crowning Hashem in Rosh Hashana, tamlichuni aleichem, we're making the Eibishter king. Or kipsaktin aniskalei the Torah, like the psaktin of the Torah, which says the Yidden go out, they're in a state of confidence and the like. Shebnei Yisrael yoydem eroisha zoichem bedin, Yidden know that they're being zoichem bedin, kiv Hashem goy gadol lashaloi lekim kroi v'meilo. They are a great nation. They're close to Hashem. They are kings. They're not stam people. They're kings. They're balabasa b'de ganze Welt, and therefore they can crown the Eibishter as a melech. V'hein b'dargas melech, and they're on the level of a king. L'chein hem mekablim. Just the next lines, unbelievable. L'chein hem mekablim al yedei zeh, and therefore they are mekabel. What are they mekabel? They're going to receive. Hold it 1 second. We're completing the class in 2 minutes. That's why they are mekabel al yedei zeh shehem mekablim melech malchei amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Through this, that they are mekabel from the Eibishter. Listen to this. Because they're a melech, they are mekabel as kol ha'amshachos v'hashpois, all the hamshacha and all the hashpa, all the flow, kefi shemagia lamelech, like a king deserves. But here's the main thing: leloi kol hishtadlus mitzidoi, that a yid doesn't have to do any hishtadlus. In other words, everything is provided without having. Every single Jew on Rosh Hashanah deserves and therefore receives from the Eibishter himself whatever he or she needs in a manner where they don't have to do any hishtadlus. What do you mean you don't have to do hishtadlus? A king doesn't have to do hishtadlus. V'adarabba, asur lemelech lasis shum malacha. You're not allowed to do any malacha. Can you imagine this? No more fundraising. You don't have to do it. The people run after you. And they say, here, you need money. You don't have to do anything. When someone can do it on his place. And how much more so when it's amongst a multitude of people. The Rebbe L'chora means over here, when a king is amongst many people, so if he needs a cup of water, or if something needs to be done, turn on the light, he doesn't do it himself. The other people can do it for him. Since we are Beroiv Am Hadras Melech, L'chora maybe means the nations of the world. Yid is a melech over the whole world. So we're in front, and the Yid is amongst all the people. So amongst others, there's a few billion goyim that can do the work for the Jewish people, right? So therefore, a melech is not allowed to do it. So a Yid in a Shoshana is makabel everything, without having to do anything mitzidoi. I didn't get to the Mashiach part in this sikh. And the Rebbe is going to continue. He's going to say, we're going to learn this next week, that if that's the case, that the Eibishter is vitzilo ya'eda, so the most important vihitzilo that we need is the hatzala of the Geula Amitis Vashlema, that the Eibishter should be save the Jewish people from Gullus. Just to summarize what we learned today, in the first in the first part, the Rebbe gave a bracha, and number one, that the Eibishter should, that the Geula should come take over Miyad Mamish, because we've already done tshuva. That's number one. Already kol kitzim, we've already done tshuva, and therefore we deserve to go immediately to the Holy of Holies, and from there the holiness will spread in the entire world. And then the Rebbe continued and explained that there are three perfections in the up and coming year. Perfection of, this is a very special year, perfection of a leap year, perfection of 2 months which are complete, perfection of Sfiras Omer, and that makes this year the most shleimus and most shalem, and therefore deserving for the Geulam and more than any other year. In the second Sikha that we began to learn over here, the Rebbe speaks about that the whole inyan of din of Rosh Hashanah is only that it should bring to be a schus, v'tzila, that's a psak din in the Torah, and therefore there's a halacha that you didn't have to act that way in Rosh Hashanah, to walk in with confidence. It's also connected to the Parsha, because in the Parsha it says that Atam nitzavim Maayon kulchem, that Yidden stand in a manner like a king. They stand with confidence, and a Yid needs to know that he's a balabas, and we have to realize we have this empowerment from the fact that the Rebbe said this. We have the empowerment, especially this year, which is the same like that year. On Rosh Hashanah, not to come in weak, but to come in strong, and to know that every single Yid deserves to get everything from the Eibishter, because you're a king, and everything needs to come to every single Jew without any hishtadlus. And all the brachas, may the Eibishter help that everybody that's participating in the class, and all the mushpayim that you're connected to, and all your families, and ultimately, of course, all the Yidden should be blessed with these brachas that we're learning over here, should materialize to the fullest, should be real, and that Yidden should feel and sense and know this idea that they're a melech, and if we know that, of course, Lamaila, they know that, and everybody gets what they need to get, and of course, the ultimate bracha, which we need more than anything else, the coming of Mashiach, may it happen right now, and now, and now. Okay, next week, Be'ezus Hashem, on Wednesday, we're going to complete and finish the Sikha. It's really, really, really amazing. Take care. And a good Yom Tiv.